In this video, we are going to go over the Gordon Ryan versus Yuri Simoes match at ADCC 2024. Gordon Ryan doesn't really need much of an introduction. Pretty much everyone considers him the greatest of all time when it comes to no-gi, and with an 80% submission rate against the best in the world and only being submitted once in his entire career, he is definitely a generational talent. Then we have Yuri Simoes. He's also at the top of the heap of grappling, winning ADCC a few times and also no-gi worlds. Without a doubt, he is also one of the best competitors in the world. And in ADCC fashion, it is tradition to be able to bring champions of the past and put them in a super fight. Now, the first piece of action starts relatively early, where Gordon is able to get an underhook on his right side, and then he drives his hips into Yuri, and although he's not able to get a knee tap from here, he is able to get the near side leg, grab a hold of it, elevate it, and when he continues to drive into Yuri, he is eventually able to take him down and end up in top position. At this point, they're pretty much off the mats, so the ref brings him back into the center. Gordon enters into half guard, and then for the next 3 minutes, we're going to fast forward because basically Gordon implements his camping game, where he only has really one objective here, and that is to tire out Yuri. This is a 20-minute match, and Gordon is pretty methodical when it comes to his fighting tactics.
But the idea is that I set up camp, and I just sit inside my partner's guard, and I just let him try to off-balance me. The goal is to allow my partner to try to off-balance me and fail long enough where he just gets so tired of carrying me on his frames that he overextends. He starts to get overzealous trying to off-balance me because he's getting exhausted. And as he overextends the frames, I can force him into half guard chest to chest. So from here, let's say we're playing this inside camping high head and he overextends his top knee. Now we go in, we're past that top knee. Now we're past the bottom knee, and now we're chest to chest in half guard. After he just spent 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes holding my body weight on his frames, now he's carrying my body weight chest to chest, and everything's worse from here. And so we play back and forth between high head camping and low head camping, contingent upon how much distance he makes between us. So we start with high head camping. The second he goes to go in and push me away, we go back to low head. Now from here, we play here. Now he lets the frames collapse. Now we go right back to high head. Now when he goes to off balance me, we just set up camp. We just play here. Then when he overextends, now we beat the top knee. Then we beat the bottom knee. And now we're in position where he can go in and start flattening my partner out.
So it was obvious that he wanted to get on top, put on that pressure, stay in half guard, stay on his toes to be able to continuously apply pressure on Yuri, make him carry his weight, and that's going to pay dividends for him in the future for the match. So now we're almost at the 16-minute mark. Gordon is still putting that heavy pressure on Yuri. You can see that Gordon is trying to staple Yuri's right leg to the ground here. And when Yuri tries to retract his right leg back, that is when Gordon is able to capitalize, get past the knee shield, and now he's hip to hip with Yuri, which is the first big step to be able to start passing from here. Yuri tries to commit by grabbing onto Gordon's left leg, and what he wants to do is be able to put Gordon's hips above his own hips so he can start having options to either recover his guard or possibly sweep from there. But Gordon is defending well, making sure that he has a good crossface on Yuri, and slowly but surely he's able to extend his body and then break that grip. And now Yuri is in a bad position from here because he has his left arm trapped across Gordon's body right now. Gordon has a nasty crossface, and he's just applying, again, a ton of pressure on Yuri right now. So we see that Gordon lets go of the head and arm grip for a second because he wants to use his right arm to be able to push Yuri's legs down so he can start passing his guard. But while all that is happening, Yuri is able to get his left arm back, and he does get an underhook on his left side, which would potentially help him recover his guard. But Gordon is doing a good job of making sure that he's applying a pressure to that crossface, which is forcing Yuri to stay flat on his back, which means that he can't get to his side to be able to utilize that left side underhook. Again, we see that Yuri tries to go for Gordon's left leg again. Gordon stays patient, has that head and arm grip, extends his leg again, and breaks the grip again. They've both been stuck in this position for quite a while now, so Gordon starts to look for other options, and now he starts to go for a near side underhook to start passing. With that near side underhook, Gordon puts his head right next to Yuri's head, and then he starts using his legs to continue shuffling himself to the right side so Yuri stays flat on his back, and that's also going to allow him to start passing into 3/4 mount. You can see that Gordon is trying to use his right hand to push Yuri's left leg down so he can start passing, and when Yuri tries to defend this with his left arm, that's when Gordon starts going for double underhooks. Now you'll notice that once he's able to establish that right underhook, he switches his head from the right side to the left side, so he has better balance here. Because Gordon has both underhooks, there is a small chance that Yuri would be able to trap Gordon's right arm with an overhook and possibly do some sort of sweep like a John Wayne sweep or a knee lever sweep. But since Gordon has his weight on the other side, it's going to be much more difficult to be able to try to get those sweeps.
Here's the situation that we're facing. We're in half guard here, and your partner has this knee up off of the mat. Okay, whether we're at a little bit of distance, okay, or he's looking, so I could be framing from here, or he could be looking to go chest to chest, it's all the same. But your partner's knee is here, it's not on the floor. So if I just try to go for a conventional knee lever here, with Chris's knee not on the mat, I don't get the same level of contact and connection. So as I go to turn him, not only is my leverage less, but he kind of has the ability to move that knee around and adjust. So you're gonna find that it's harder for you to really get meaningful off-balance connection, okay? So even if the knee is a little bit higher off the mat, I like to bring that knee up a little bit here, yeah, like this. From here, it's gonna be the same. The first knee lever action that you're gonna do is just designed to get that knee down to the mat for a moment. So from here, even if Chris is like in this kind of position here, he's got that knee up, we're gonna draw our heels back and we're gonna hit like a false knee lever to turn and just put that knee down on the mat. Once the knee goes down to the mat, we're gonna make a quick adjustment where we take our feet to the outside, shift our hips, and then from here, hit a second knee lever, and this is gonna be the one that gets our partner out of balance. Okay, you can thumb post inside the armpit, you can scoop the leg, you can do any of the methods that we've seen before to either finish the knee lever or take advantage of your partner's off balance.
Now the next step for Gordon is to try to get his knee out. So he elevates his hips, gets his knee past the hip line, and then he's able to enter into 3/4 mount from here. So he's not doing any sort of crazy flashy passes or anything like that. He's just staying with heavy pressure, moving inch by inch, and giving Yuri no space to be able to recover from here. You can see that Gordon tries a few attempts to try to pass with his legs, but he realizes that he'll probably need to do a little bit more work to be able to get the pass. So now he focuses his energy on the upper body, and you can see that he does the little hand crawl with his right arm, and then he uses his body mechanics in this position to use to the left side of his body almost like a car jack. So you'll notice that he crawls using his right hand to get a little bit deeper under, uses his entire body to be able to push himself up to elevate Yuri's left arm a little bit. Then he repeats the process again by bringing his right arm a little bit higher so he's able to cup the shoulder from here. Again, does another car jack motion where he's able to get higher and higher, and eventually we get to the point where both of Yuri's arms are above his head now.
Understand that when my partner has his arm down low and I'm trying to walk it up and over the shoulder line, everyone talks about finger walking up like this. The finger walk isn't what actually moves my partner's arm over the head. If he has his elbow tight, the finger walk does nothing. What moves my partner's arm up, and my goal is always to get my partner's elbow over the shoulder line. Once it's over the shoulder line, I'm in pretty good shape. So right from here, how I actually move my partner's elbow up towards the shoulder line is not by finger walking, it's by making a center line shift with my head. Where my head moves from one side of his center line, the center line being the line that draws his body in half, my head moving from one side to the other and a straightening of my arm. So when he goes to resist, we move the head, we straighten the arm, then we finger walk. And we walk in an arc up towards the center line. And this is what isolates my partner's arm. The finger walk alone does nothing. So from here, I center line shift with the head, my arm straightens, tight. From here, we walk, then we reset. He's tight, we center line shift, we extend the arm, we walk, we come back. We center line shift, we extend the arm, we come back. And then once the elbow gets over the shoulder line, it's a pretty easy thing to walk it up the rest of the way. And now right from here, the whole thing is I just take my hand that has the underhook and I just touch my elbow. Now, what holds the arm over the head isn't the strength of my muscles. It's the positioning of my body. So right from here, the whole thing is I take my collarbones and my shoulder line and I lean it forward towards my partner's elbow, here. And so now it's the weight of my body and the extension of my body which holds him in place. So now when Dominic goes to bring that arm down, it's the ability to pull his arm down versus not the squeezing of my arms, but the weight of my body. So now when he goes to move around, just not gonna happen from here. And now we can either look to start walking everything across, so that from here we can start passing to expose the back, or we can go in, we can touch our partner's neck, and now we can start going through, punching in the underhook on the opposite side, and then doing the same thing where we work the arm up until we have double underhooks, and now we can go to work from here.
So now this is prime position to start passing. Yuri has both of his arms above his head. There's no way that he can defend the lower body. And for the next few seconds, we see that Gordon is staying in this position and he keeps looking up. So let me ask you guys, why is Gordon looking up and not attempting to pass at this point? The reason is because in ADCC, in order to start racking up points, it needs to be past the 10-minute mark. So Gordon did all of this work for the first 10 minutes to, number one, tire out Yuri, and number two, get himself in a position at the 10-minute mark where as soon as it hits 10 minutes, he can start passing into mount for points. And that is exactly what we see here. As soon as the 10-minute mark hits, bam, he starts trying to pull out his right leg immediately. He isn't able to get it at first, but with the help of his left leg, he does eventually get the pass and enters into mount for his first 3 points. Now you'll see that Yuri does a very nice quarter mount defense where he's able to get under the ankle, elevate it, and re-enter into quarter guard. But Gordon is able to easily pull his right leg out and enter back into mount for another 3 points. And at this part of the match, the crowd is starting to realize that Gordon is literally farming points now. He is literally putting his right leg back into quarter guard to be able to just take it out again, and he keeps scoring those 3 points. In this short amount of time, he's able to do that 4 times, and he's able to quickly go up to 12-0 for a very massive lead in this match so far. Now he feels like it's time to start actually going for the submission, so he goes for the triple threat position, and he probably could have gone for the back here, but he decides to try to go for the armbar. They are both slippery at this point, and Yuri is able to get out of the position. Gordon scrambles back on top. Yuri is able to nicely recover back into close guard, and now Gordon has to work again to start passing the guard. The camera angle isn't exactly the greatest here, but Gordon is able to enter back into half guard. He is able to get past that knee shield again, and we are in the same exact position that we saw earlier in the match. We don't need to see the same sequence again, so we're going to fast forward a little bit. So during this downtime, let me tell you where I get my BJJ gear from, and that's xmartial.com. The reason why I like X Martial is because their gear is actually fun and it has something for everyone. Do you like cute cats with Jiu-Jitsu puns? Are you trying to promote a questionable side hustle? Maybe you're a proud hillbilly that loves overalls and wish there was a crazy company out there that made an overall themed rash guard. They literally have that. They have something for everyone. So go to xmartial.com, use code JJB during checkout to get an additional 15% off your order. Now back to the breakdown. We get to the point where Gordon does have Yuri's left arm across his body again. Yuri is already too tired to defend from here and get his arm back, so he is able to use his right arm that's free, push Yuri's legs down, enter back into mount, and get another 3 points for 15-0. Yuri's arms is still across Gordon's body at this point. Gordon is able to get another triple threat, and this time around, instead of going for the armbar, he does the safer option and starts going towards the back. So we're going to fast forward again because it is a bunch of hand fighting. Gordon is basically trying to trap one of Yuri's arms with his leg so he can start attacking the neck with 2 arms while Yuri only has 1. Now in this frame here, it does look like Gordon is about to trap Yuri's right arm here with his leg, but you also have to look at Yuri's positioning from here. He has a slight angle where the center of his back is facing a little bit towards the mat and not completely facing towards Gordon at this point. And because of that tiny angle, Gordon's left hook is pretty shallow from here. Yuri recognizes that, and then he's able to bring his left leg over Gordon's left leg. And now because Gordon doesn't have the hook, that's when Yuri can start escaping from here. So he's able to bring his hips out. Gordon tries to transition into a crucifix, but Yuri is able to slip out his right elbow from the legs, spin towards Gordon, and now for the first time in this match, he's able to get on top. And not only is he able to get on top, but he is able to immediately pass Gordon's knee shield, get a really strong crossface, and all of a sudden, in a split second, Gordon is in a bad position from here. Very rarely do we see Gordon in a really bad position, and it's pretty rare to see him on defense as well. Yuri has that strong head and arm grip, putting a ton of pressure on Gordon, and he's able to even get past the half guard, and it looks like he's trying to go for this heavy body lock pass, and he's actually really close to passing Gordon's guard from here. But Gordon has a few last lines of defense. He has his left arm connected to his left leg, and he's also using this hook on his right leg to be able to keep Yuri in position so he can't pass his guard from here. Eventually, Gordon is patient enough where he's able to find an opportunity to get back into half guard, and now he needs to find a way to try to recover his open guard. So he's doing the classic move where he's really trying to dig his forearm into Yuri's neck and face to try to create some space. And now we get to this point where Gordon is able to clasp his hands together on Yuri's right arm. And as soon as Yuri feels that, he pulls his right arm out, which gives Gordon enough space to be able to get his knee pointing upwards. And now he's in a much safer position than he was before, because that knee pointing up to the sky is a very common defense to start blocking the body lock pass. Now Gordon works on his frames to be able to push Yuri back, create some space, he gets his knees back involved, and now we are back in Gordon's open guard. So it was a good pass attempt by Yuri, but Gordon was being very technical at this point and was able to recover from a bad position. So we're going to fast forward a little bit here again. Gordon is known for having a really tough guard to pass, and when he finds a slight opening, he pushes Yuri's body away, tries to do his technical stand-up, but Yuri starts pushing back into Gordon to get him back to the ground, and Gordon uses that opportunity to cinch up a head and arm grip and start threatening a guillotine from here. So Yuri went from trying to put a ton of pressure on Gordon to now being threatened with a submission, and now he's trying to pull his weight backwards. And because he's trying to pull his weight back, that's the reason Gordon is able to get back to his knees and then starts circling to his left side to eventually end up back in top position again. We see the very familiar 3/4 mount, but because there's only 2 minutes left in the match, Gordon does something a little bit more risky at this point, and instead of trying to get into mount, he sits down and grabs the Kimura grip. Now technically Yuri is in a deep half guard position, but he can't really do anything with the deep half guard because his left arm is exposed, and because Gordon has that Kimura grip, he can't really use it as a proper sweep from here. You can see the strain on Gordon's face that he is basically putting everything he can to try to break this grip here. He is just pulling and pushing, and Yuri must have some ridiculous grips here, because I think most people would have probably cracked from that pressure, but Yuri has some insanely strong grips apparently. At this point, Gordon's arms are probably completely burnt out by trying to go for that Kimura grip, and so he is trying to secure a triangle from the back from here, but they are just both really sweaty at this point. I'm sure Gordon is very tired at this point too, so Yuri is able to pop his head out, get back on top, and now we only have a minute left in the match. We can see that Yuri is desperately trying to do anything to try to pass, and when he realizes that he's not going to be able to pass, that's when he starts going for a Hail Mary ankle lock from here. I'm not sure if Gordon was putting on a really good poker face, or if he genuinely didn't feel like he was any sort of danger from here, but Yuri is yanking his ankle, trying to do anything he can to try to get the submission. Gordon seems pretty calm, cool, and collected, and at this point time runs out and the match ends with Gordon winning 21-0. Another thing to mention is that, at this point in Gordon's career, he has talked numerous times about having stomach issues, about how he's not at his best at this point. So it wasn't the best showing from Gordon, but despite his physical limitations, he still proves to be the best in the world, and was able to dominate pretty easily. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown, and I will see you in the next video.